Hi, this is Low Carb Me and You. I'm Alexander, and today we'll be making chicken satay. In order to make this Malaysian inspired chicken satay, we'll need several ingredients. Obviously, we'll need chicken. We'll need oil, lemongrass, shallots, sea salt, erythritol, coriander, chili, and turmeric. We'll start with the hero of the story, lemongrass. Cut it in half and use the bottom part. Remove the outer layer if it's a little bit dry. We use the bottom half only as it contains most moisture and will create a lovely freshness in our marinade. Cut the stalk lengthwise and then thinly slice it. You can reduce the carb count from lemongrass, but that comes at a price. It isn't the hero ingredient for nothing. Substitute the lemongrass with half a tablespoon of lemongrass powder and a quarter teaspoon of lemon juice. As with the lemongrass, we want to chop the shallots finely so they're easy to grind. Cut off the top, then cut into two halves and remove the outer layer of peel. Next, we'll make cuts from the stem to the top. Make sure that you don't cut all the way through. Then cut across to create nice cubes. Repeat this process for the remainder of the shallots. Shallots and onions contain a fair amount of carbs. It is again possible to substitute the fresh ingredients with powdered versions. You can halve the amount of carbs by replacing the shallot with half a tablespoon of onion powder. With all the cutting done, it is time to make the paste. Add the onion and the lemongrass into your mortar and pestle. Before we add the other ingredients, we want to soften these two up. It is not the intention to completely mash these two to a pulp. At the end, we'll have some chunky bits left of both the onion and the lemongrass. When you're happy with the consistency of this mash, you can add the other ingredients: the turmeric, coriander, chili, erythritol, sea salt, and oil. After adding everything to the mortar, continue grinding until your marinade has a consistency of a thick paste. If you want a finer paste, or if you're increasing the amount of ingredients, you can also use a blender. When done grinding, don't forget to scrape off the pestle. You wouldn't want to lose out on all of those good flavors. With the marinade done, we can set it aside so we can get started on the chicken. Take a chicken breast and start laying it out as flat as possible. Cut it into 3 equal sized strips, which we're then going to subdivide into 4 pieces each. We want to create similarly sized pieces of chicken so that they all have a roughly equal cook time. I prefer to use chicken breast because it is more predictable with regards to the amount of protein and fat incorporated into it. If you so desire, you can switch it out to make use of a chicken thigh or even other pieces of meat as you desire. However, keep in mind that the protein and fat contents will be different. Now that we have our chicken and our marinade ready, it is time for those two to get acquainted. Put the chicken in a bowl and add the marinade. Stir the paste through the chicken so that it's all covered. It's easy to see if the marinade has distributed evenly by checking the color of the chicken. If they're all similarly golden yellow, it's ready to sit in the fridge for a while. Cover the chicken and let it sit in the refrigerator for 4 to 24 hours. If you let it rest longer, the flavors will increase. Don't go above a day or your chicken will start to dry out. After marinating the chicken, we're going to prepare it for grilling. Unwrap the chicken and give it a proper stir. Next, we're going to thread the chicken onto the skewers. I like to use 3 skewers per chicken breast. That gives me ample meat per skewer. As we have 2 chicken breasts, we'll need 6 skewers in total. Make sure that you properly soak them in water before use. Soaking the skewers will make sure that your meat doesn't stick too much. Additionally, it'll make sure that the skewers don't burn as quickly. When threading the chicken, make sure that you have equal distribution of the meat so that the skewer is equally thick along the length of it. This will ensure an equal cooking time throughout. Once all the chicken is threaded, you are ready to grill. You can also choose to freeze the chicken at this stage. Individually wrap them or make sure that you properly thaw the entire amount of chicken so that you can take the skewers apart without tearing the chicken. With all the preparations done, it is now time for the final step, grilling the meat. For the best flavor, I would definitely recommend a barbecue. But in this video, I'll show you how to use a grill pan. Alternatively, you can also use a regular skillet. Just keep in mind, the cooking time will be a little lower. Before we put our meat in the pan, we'll quickly give it a little dab with some oil on the top. Make sure you don't brush off the marinade. This will help seal in the flavors, as well as provide a little bit of extra contact surface for grilling. Preheat a cast iron grill pan and make sure that it's hot. Add the chicken skewers one at a time, oil covered side down. You'll need to grill the chicken for 2 to 5 minutes per side in a medium-high heat grill pan. If you cook the chicken on high heat, the charred parts will actually burn. Just as you're going to be flipping over the chicken, add a little bit of oil so this side also gets a nice coat. Flip the chicken and cook it for another 2 to 4 minutes. If your chicken skewers are a little bit thicker, you may also want to consider cooking them on their sides for maybe less than a minute. Once fully cooked, we're ready for the best part. You'll want to enjoy this as soon as it's ready. The earthy spices combined with the freshness of the lemongrass really stimulate your senses the moment it's ready. Because of the marinade, the meat has retained all its juices. A good chicken satay wouldn't be complete without a satay sauce, which I'll tell you all about in the next video. You can also add a nice fresh salad to complement the rich flavors of this dish. This amazing recipe makes 2 servings. Per serving you'll have 8 grams of carbs, 75 grams of protein, 24 grams of fat, and about 580 calories.